Congratulations. Now you've got this customer in your funnel, right? You've created that very highly engaging, highly relevant top of funnel content. You're able to attach your cookie to them either through your video or them clicking on your ad or interacting with your particular lead form as you were just getting acquainted with them and building that awareness of your product and your services that you're able to offer on, right? So now it's time to expand on that. Now it's time to dive into the research phase, the mid funnel. This is where we build, this is where they gain research. We build the loyalty and the trust, and we further that relationship on down the road, right? I'm going to use real estate and mortgages as an example within this particular lesson, just because they utilize some very, very highly sensitive data, right? They have data such as social security numbers, your home address. You're going to have to give them banking information and income information. And that whole process is, when we deal with them, like I've dealt with mortgage bankers, like they have all the tools that, keep it very secretive or very privacy protected. But in order for me to give that to you, like I have to have a little bit of trust, right? And this phase is all about building that trust and building in the brand. And they actually do a pretty good job right here, right? So this is what they would land in off of the top of funnel interaction, right? This is where they've landed from the ad, and now we're landed on their page. And now we're going to start trying to increase that understanding and that loyalty and that research. Now we're going to ask for some details, but it's nothing at all very, very sensitive, right? It's see if you qualify, right? We're just building that value. Now, again, this is a data point that we can take to remarket or do something with at a later date. But a lot of stuff on this particular page is just about building value, right? Hello, Phoenix. Rex is excited to be in Phoenix. Rex charges 2% total, which is 70% lower than typical real estate commissions, right? So right there, they're exposing the value props on it. They're creating additional value as you read along. Rex is full service real estate brokerage that combines services technology to sell homes faster and save homeowners thousands of dollars. Oh, you mean, so I only have to deal with one person? I'm not going to have to deal with, a couple different ones? Okay, cool. All right. Save thousands of commissions. As you go down this, they're building that additional value prop to make you comfortable with their services, but just give you more information on how they work, what their processes is, where their value points are, right? And the lead qualifier really is just this nice little simple form. Lowest fee, full service, game-changing technology, right? And see if you qualify. So I just threw a random address in there. We hit submit. Looks like you qualify, right? So they want my email address. So we're going to go email.com. Get my valuation report. So thank you. We received your request for an independent valuation report. A Rex agent will be in touch shortly. All right. They're going to send me an information, which means that I'm either mid funnel. So there's a point where they're in your funnels, right? So you have your top, middle, and bottom. And the one thing about any funnel that happens, right? You may be able to sell that person higher up in the lead funnel, right? You may be able to make contact with them or get them on the phone within the first couple steps, right? Like this one. Let's say within this, I clicked off of Yahoo. I'm like, oh, their page builds enough value. It's kind of cool. I'm going to go ahead and see if I qualify. And they're like, oh, you do qualify. Oh, okay, cool. And they're like, hey, we'll be in touch shortly. Well, I don't want to wait, right? I got questions. I want to go ahead and talk now so I can do that, right? Don't ever think that you shouldn't include in these middle and even some of the bottom funnel steps or even at the top of funnel that you shouldn't create the ability for them to contact you, right? So phone numbers or the ability to email you or submit a lead form can definitely be put higher up in the funnel than just the bottom part of it, right? Because at the end of the day, if you've made enough impact on them by the content you've created on that second middle funnel page, then you've done your job, right? Step them forward and allow them to get in touch with you as quick as possible, because there's the old adage, like you can literally talk yourself out of a sale. Well, you can literally give so much information that you either confuse them or you talk yourself out of a sale. And this is the same thing that's true with digital advertising, right? Give them the opportunity at each stage, top, middle, and bottom funnel to still get in contact with you or submit a lead form to get in touch in a faster rate. Because at the end of the day, right, if they're ready to buy, we need to be able to service them. We don't need to throw additional content in them or additional information, value props, whatever, to try and get them to make the initiation themselves, right? Or to try and just go through our exact perfect flow of things. Because like I said, the ultimate goal is to get them on the phone, get that lead submitted, make that conversion. If you can do it higher up in the funnel, then that's entirely fine, right? But what you're going to do on the majority of your mid-funnel stuff is it's going to be that article where it exposes. It might be a comparison article where you're listing the different segments, right? For instance, when I get remarketed by hair products companies all the time, and one that I always see for Neiman, it's actually Neiman Marcus, is they have like their top 5 selling hair irons, and they literally wrote long form content that gives a pros and cons of each one of them. And it's like, but at the end of the day, like what it's boxing you into and what it's kind of helping you focus that research and moving you down the funnel is it's giving you just 4 options, right? So it is stair-stepping you down. Yeah, maybe you're not going to purchase one right at that step, but you're definitely probably going to make an evaluation at that step, and it's going to help hone in your overall understanding. Because when it comes to hair products, when it comes to men's clothing, women's clothing, anything, there's a ridiculous amount of options out there, and there's a ridiculous amount of tangents that you can be led off of. So if we can utilize that mid-funnel content to kind of filter down their understanding and exposure to only the valuable products that fit their needs and help kind of segment that off for them, they're actually going to find it very valuable, right? They're probably not going to read that article and be like, oh no, those all suck. I got to go find something else, right? We're like, oh, that was some really valuable information. Now, which one out of those 4 do I want to further research, right? And then that moves them on down the funnel to the other additional stage of where they're maybe deciding for the product before they actually go shopping for it or something to that effect. So your mid-funnel content is very much, it's still very evergreen, but it does give you the ability in more of a abstract kind of capability to convert, right? So you're still going to have the ability to add to cart on certain items. You're still going to have contact, give us a call, submit a lead form. You're still going to give them the ability to convert at that mid-funnel rate, but the content and the call to actions are not going to reflect buy now. They're going to be more about learn more, investigate for, figure out what the models are, test out all the brands, like stuff, different things to that effect that aren't going to be as strong of call to actions that are revolving around, purchase or buy right now kind of deal. So your mid-funnel content, again, I'm going to talk more about this within the face group as well as we start writing some for collateral growth, and I start writing, more for additional clients and things along those lines, because the content generation at mid-funnel, it's very, very kind of wavy. And, this stuff right here, 10 best mortgage rates, 2009. Our editors have spent 300 plus hours researching today's mortgage and refinance interest rates across a variety of mortgages products to help consumers determine which mortgage option is best given to their personal financial situation. Real quick, easy, value prop statement that gives, credit to like what gives validation and authority in, how much time they've spent on it. And it also basically gives determination that it's more keyed in on your specific needs. So that's really, really, it's short, but very, very valuable, impactful content. And that can lead them right into, where they can lead rates. Or, you have something more about the reverse mortgage. It's a little bit longer form that doesn't have really any call to actions or any specific, things that say purchase now, put your app in now. Theirs is just request an appointment, right? Check it out. They're not asking for vital information about how much money you make a year, what's your home worth, is it paid off, those type of things. This is really good mid-funnel content to just move that process down, move that sales cycle down to getting them to the mid-funnel or to the bottom funnel process, where you are either engaged with them directly, or you're talking about pricing, or you're asking, for the sale at that position. These are all about building the value and still building that trust. You see on this, they give some nice article. It creates the authority, gives them some good impact. They build the value as well and the trust with some reviews over here. And then they also have all their certifications down here, right? Equal Housing Lender, Better Business Bureau, 30 plus years of excellence, right? These are all trust building mechanisms that'll help move that person further down the funnel and closer to the buying cycle, or closer to that position where they're ready to buy or seek your services out or purchase your product. So keep that in mind when you're writing some of this content, that it shouldn't be you're not talking about that very highly aggressive content that needs to really rope them in, right? It needs to just express your authority, provide some additional educational content that is relevant to the topic, and again, move them down to the next stage, whether it be, hey, you want to talk to somebody? You want more information about this? You want to learn, like give us a phone call, or submit your app. Like what do you want to do? You give them those multiple abilities on those pages in order to, really give them more of a fluid, relaxed kind of interaction with you, right? What we're going to talk about in the next stage, the bottom funnel, that's where we're going to hit them hard with buy now, specials now, limited time, take advantage of these offers. That kind of stuff is what we're going to talk about in the next lesson. So, reiterate just real quick, as far as the mid-funnel content is very, very passive. It does move them further down, right? But it's more about building that loyalty, building that education about it, moving them through the research phase and getting comfortable with the product and the service and the people who are going to provide it, right? And if you do that, then it's going to alleviate a lot of the customer service issues as well by reinforcing the research phase. And it'll also cut down on your returns. If you have, products that are, maybe harder to figure out, they're, higher ticket items, those kind of things. And ultimately, the faster and better we can do that, and we can alleviate all those concerns, the more money we're going to be able to keep in our pocket at the end of the day. So we're going to jump into the bottom funnel. I'm going to talk more about how we really get them through the sales cycle, and then even the next step of looping them back to the top.